I'll do a quick introduction today. Hello. I never ever say hello properly or do like an introduction properly enough, so I'm going to try and do that obviously today. So the plan is I've got a lot of work to do on this painting. I'm going to try to paint a lot of the bottom half today, as well as talk and paint at the same time. I'm going to try at least to do that, because normally I'll end up chatting and then I forget to paint sometimes as well. So we're going to try and get a lot done today. I'm feeling productive. So essentially what I want to do today is we're going to try and paint in kind of the bottom of the helmet, kind of finish off the mask / helmet area here, and then continue with his clothing underneath. So kind of mainly just blocking it out, not adding a lot of detail, but getting the bones of it in there. And then I can go in with detail. I think I just want to block it in, and then I want to try and focus on the Anakin side next stream, which will be really good, but also really stressful because obviously it's a person. So I kind of want to try and get some of this done and then focus on this half of the face next stream. Let me know if that music's too loud as well. But yeah, bit of an introduction. I want to just tell you a little bit about my week as well. So I know I'm going to lower that music a little touch because I actually can't hear myself talking. There we go. So yeah, you asked Alex how did R2 go off. He's gone, obviously. I feel really sad that he's not in the studio anymore. So R2, I'm just going to turn this camera a little bit. R2 has basically gone, was it Friday? Friday he got picked up, Friday morning. And it was really scary because the company, obviously, that I deal with, they do absolutely everything. So they just take the painting from your door and they pack it and ship it. So, well, it's going over to the US, which is really scary because obviously he's travelling very far, and I'm scared that he's going to get damaged or anything happens to him. And I'm talking about it like it's a person because I got really attached to the painting. So he's gone over to the US. I literally just handed the painting to the delivery guy. It wasn't wrapped or anything, they sort all that, so which is really, really good. So if you're ever looking to ship big work over to the US, you know, there's companies that do absolutely everything for you, which is amazing. It is expensive, so it's worth shopping around a little bit, but these guys had good reviews, so I've kind of just went with them. So yeah, he's not here, but what cheered me up on Friday was I actually got my, I don't know if anyone's seen it on Instagram. Hi Adam, are you doing okay? So yeah, what brightened my day, because that was really stressful. Obviously I've spent a lot of time on R2 and it's a huge piece. I was really anxious that day, and then my pin that I designed for Pin Butler's Ink, shout out to Pin Butler's Ink, she makes really, really cool Star Wars pins. She is a big fan of Ahsoka, so I got to design a lovely pin. Oh, I'm probably best showing this camera on. Hold on. I got to design, let's see if I can focus in on that a little bit. I got to design this lovely pin. I hope you can see it well. Of Anakin and Ahsoka in, oh my gosh, I'm not the best at focusing. Yeah, I basically got to design this from the Ahsoka show, if anyone's watched it. And it was just recreating that scene of Ahsoka seeing Anakin again, which is one of my favourite scenes, actually quite an emotional scene, so it was really nice to obviously create this piece for Pin Butler, and like part of payment was I asked if I could have me own pin as part of the payment. But yeah, so that was really exciting. I know she only, ooh, let's get that in focus again. She only makes a limited run. I'll show it on here as well in the better light. Ooh. It is just beautiful, like all of the details. I'm just showing off. But yeah, just when he says like, hey Snips. And it's got my name on the back. It's called The Lesson, this piece. So it's, there's a really nice engraving on the back, and it's a really lovely quote. So it says, within you, you will be everything I am. All of the knowledge I possess, just as I inherited from my master and he from his. You're part of a legacy. Which is really, really nice. I think it's really cute. And it's got my little name. And the Lothwolves and things like that. And the Purgles, which are really, really cute. So they kind of mirror the other side. Ooh. Which is really pretty. So try to get like the Purgles in there and the Lothwolves as well. Really, really cute. But yeah, I love designing this piece. I don't do a lot of digital work at the minute, so it was a nice change from painting. And I think it's still on the cards, but we're looking to do an alternate version as well with Vader and kind of evil Sith Ahsoka, if you know she was in a different timeline, a Sith and followed Anakin, if that makes sense. Alright, so let's get into painting, shall we? Because I've rambled on a little bit, but I just kind of wanted to show that off a little bit because I'm quite proud. And yeah, it was really exciting to receive it in the post. I think it literally took like 2 to 3 days to get here from the US, which was amazing. Fabulous. So yeah, like I mentioned before, I'm going to be focusing on the bottom part today. Okay, and essentially getting the clothing in. But I hope everyone's having a good week. This is my last kind of day until I go back to work tomorrow. It's my 9 to 5, so I've had a nice week off. So yeah, I'm so depressed. If you see me looking up a lot, I've just got a reference image up there. So yeah, I'm excited to be working back on this piece. I've got so many different ideas, I think, with. It's been nice to have some time off and get the YouTube. Just obviously a little shout out to the YouTube channel. I post all of these live streams on YouTube. I'm just going to kind of darken this area out a second. I'll go back in with that pattern. But yeah, soon should hopefully be Easter break. I've just got so many ideas that I want to work on at the minute. And just so little time to do it. Especially with the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith coming up. I've got so many ideas that I want to paint. I know I posted it on my Instagram story a while ago, but I do want to paint General Grievous, which would be really cool. I was kind of umming and ahhing between him and Maul, Darth Maul. So I've got so many paintings that I want to work on, so little time. If anyone didn't catch it a few days ago, I started working on large scale dragon piece. It's hiding at the back. Tane's just kind of poking in the stream today. And yeah, so I jumped on with my friend Alex. She's just been in the chat a second ago. And we both painted dragons, which was really fun. We just chatted rubbish, talked about how we met, talked a little bit about Fourth Wing and our love for dark fantasy. So that one's up on YouTube as well at the minute. Though we did have some sound issues at first. And it's something me and Alex kind of want to regularly do together, which will be nice.
This is only...
Okay. I'm just going to add some shadows there. Ignore how it looks right now, it's not going to be perfect. When you look at the image of this, it's a lot of like light colour and then some black underneath it, so I'm kind of just going to add those little shadows and then later on go in with the white, if that makes sense. Just go around those edges as well. But yeah, it's been really nice to have some time off, be productive. Obviously, as I mentioned, set up the YouTube channel. It'd just be great if I could just paint every day and have no real life responsibilities. And there's a lot of things I want to do, like with the channel. There's so many things that I want to try. Whether that's obviously painting new characters, trying different types of videos. I'm trying out some shorts. I'm going to try those in the next upcoming weeks to see how that goes. Let's see. So let's start tackling this kind of bottom half. Now it's actually quite dark down this part of the image. It's more blacks. To be honest, this is all black. And then it kind of goes into some creases. Now there's going to be bits of red here, so let's have a little look. What I'll do is I'll fill in the black area and then go in with the highlights later on. I'm going to darken that up a lot. Ooh, I'm lagging a little bit there. Sorry if I'm a little bit jumpy. Right. Let's add in some shadow here as well. Add in some black here. So with R2 obviously being finished now, back there, I have been thinking about doing some, so C-3PO is kind of finished, there's a few more details that I want to add, but it's getting there. But what I do want is, I have been thinking about doing an alternate version of C-3PO and R2-D2, so I don't know if anyone has read the Darth Vader comic books. But there is kind of an evil Sith version of both of these characters. So it's Triple O and BT1. And the kind of, what I'll do is when I post this on YouTube. Hello! So yeah, so I'm thinking about doing the evil Sith versions of R2 and C-3PO from the Darth Vader comics. So they feature in the Dr. Aphra comics as well. I don't know if anyone's read these comics, but they're really, really good. So Triple O and BT1. What I'll do when I post this on YouTube, I'll show some stills of what they look like. So they look really cool. And kind of this dark black grey with red eye versions of C-3PO and R2. I'm just going to get a smaller brush. But yeah, I think it would be great to, whoa, I'm getting paint all over me already. Yeah, create some of those like spooky, cool Sith alternate versions. Yeah, I'll show some stills of the characters and the comic book as well. I should have really got one out to show anyone on stream today. So we've got a lot of black and shadow in this area as well. But yeah, like I mentioned with the pin before, I think it would be really cool to have the alternate version of that too. The process of creating that, I don't know if anyone's seen the physical illustrations that I created there up on my Instagram as well. I used kind of a combination of Procreate to sketch it and map it out, and then Adobe Illustrator, which is kind of a vector-based program. If anyone's seen my YouTube, I used to do like little tutorials on different Adobe software. And I look back at them now and I find them so cringy. I've got like such a high-pitched voice. Hi everyone! I would definitely go to the dark side for free paint, by the way. I don't know if anyone works in oils much, who follows me on Instagram or YouTube, but it is quite expensive. Let's straighten that off. Oh, my favourite Star Wars movie. That's a really hard one to answer. I think I do have a big love for Revenge of the Sith. I think with Anakin being one of my favourite characters, I have a big love of the prequels. And it's actually obviously the anniversary this year, and the anniversary falls in my birthday month, which is great. And they've been putting them in the, I don't know, what's the word? I can't get the word out today. They've been showing them in the cinemas as well on the anniversaries this year, so I got to catch the others. So, and I'd never, like, obviously previously seen them in the cinema on the big screen, so it was quite emotional. Because I was quite young when the prequels came out. So I kind of fell in love with Star Wars at an older age. But yeah, I got asked this question the other day as well. I found it so hard to answer. I can't remember how old I was when Revenge of the Sith came out. I know I was only a child when it came out, and I remember vividly, my dad, he got us a computer when we were really young. I remember this big white computer, chunky computer, and he had a Star Wars game on it. I can't remember what the game was either. That really frustrates me, but I remember playing that. But I didn't fall in love with Star Wars until kind of my early 20s, because I hadn't really explored it. And now I'm just kind of Star Wars crazy. But yeah, obviously with the anniversary, there's a lot of art pieces that I want to create for the anniversary. I've just been mentioning this to some others, and I really want to paint like really large scale General Grievous as kind of an anniversary piece, but I don't know if I'm going to have time to start it, let alone get it finished. I'm kind of trying to prioritise this piece at the minute because it's a commission piece for a client. So they want Star Wars, half Vader, half Anakin, and then they want another canvas with Palpatine. Kind of Palpatine. Oh. Emperor vibes, if that makes sense. So when I mentioned before, obviously the kind of Sith versions that I wanted to do of 000, whatever anyone else calls him, and BT1. I was actually obviously like looking into the characters a little bit more. I ended up on just like an internet, you know, when you bounce from one thing to the other, and I was looking at I ended up looking at like what's the word, how many kills, like who has the most kills in Star Wars. And what's funny is R2 actually potentially has a bigger kill count than both of those droids. And then I was kind of like, so this is kind of how I got onto that topic. And then I was just thinking, I wonder how many kills Chopper has from Rebels. Just zoom in on this picture a bit. A Rebels piece would be really fun to create as well, actually. Right, let's add in some black here. I'm trying not to cover. Just cover this. It's hard to see me referencing this lighting as well. So let's kind of a mask situation here. Remembered to unmute myself. Whoa. Very proud of myself. Okay, now I was like, where the hell did I put my palette? Just left it, dumped it on the floor and ran away. Okay. Hello anyone that's joined. I've literally just come back. I just have to go and grab some water. Hope everyone's doing okay. Let me know if the music's too loud as well. Okay. Let's add in some. Try and see. So there's going to be some. I'm kind of just going to have fun with this part. Yeah, I mean, I would love to obviously paint the Millennium Falcon, and I have looked at some X-Wing designs, but I'd like to do like a large scale kind of landscape sky piece, if that makes sense. And then have kind of the ship as like a small feature, or even like a Death Star would be really cool. Right, so there's some shadows here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the dark block shadows in here and then come in with some highlights later. Then this part, there's kind of some creases here, and then we have, try not to cover the camera with my palette. Just gonna have, map out some shadow here. And I'm just being like loosey-goosey with it because I'm just trying to block areas. I feel like I just need to get this part kind of finished. What I might do is I might start to add some red. Let's introduce some red. Yeah. Smudged already. Right, let me just grab some red paint. Really need to buy some more red. Ew. I'm so mucky as well. I end up like, never ever let me use your painting equipment because it's likely that I'll ruin it. I'm really bad for leaving brushes, out to go crusty. I leave the lids off my oil paints. I would love to do a mall painting, to be honest. Like really large scale, impactful mall piece would be so cool. He's one I've wanted to paint for a while because I don't know if anyone in the chat is obviously, I don't know if everyone's watched Clone Wars, but his character in Clone Wars, I just love it. How they build on his character in Clone Wars, because obviously anyone who's just watched the movies, you don't see him speak. I need to stop saying I need someone to just whack me the next time I say Kenobi. I'm not even going to try and do that impression. But yeah, his character, he's very well articulate, very cunning. I love it when he is involved with the Mandalorians. Which reminds me, actually, I don't know if anyone who obviously watching in the chat, I don't know if anyone's ever played Shatterpoint, but it's something that I'm thinking of playing. I do occasionally paint miniatures for Warhammer. So I was kind of thinking, because I enjoy painting miniatures, and I was kind of thinking of crossing kind of like both things that I like, obviously Star Wars and miniatures. Hello. Whack me. But yeah, so I don't know if anyone has played Shatterpoint, but I've been looking at the it's kind of like a tabletop game, similar, yeah. But I've been looking at the intro box, so there's like a season 7 Clone Wars intro box to Shatterpoint, and it's got characters like Ventress, Ahsoka. It's got the 501st in there, which is really cool. It's got kind of like Super Commando Mandalorians, got Saxon, it's got Maul, it's got Ahsoka, Anakin. It's got Clan Kai's in there. So there's so much in it. I just need to save my pennies for it now. I don't know if you can even see these highlights so far. But they're quite subtle. Let's add a little bit more red. There's kind of like a highlight here too. Some lucky red in there. In other news, I am getting some new pets. I don't know if anyone's seen any of my pets on Instagram. Oh, got my shit stuck on the easel then. So, yes, I'm getting new pets. I have multiple pets at the moment. I'll sit and list them. So I've got, obviously a lot of people have seen Olive on my channel, on my Instagram, things like that. She might have, actually, you know, I've just realised I cut her out of the live stream by accident when I uploaded it to, because it was muted. So I have a dog called Olive to start with. She's only a puppy at the minute. I've got a African grey parrot called Archie. He's very sweet. I've got 2 corn snakes. I lost my gorgeous bearded dragon this year. She was so gorgeous. She was a rescue and she had lots of deformities and things like that. She literally had like 2 feet missing and half a tail missing. And I have 2 tortoises, so one of them is actually called Boba and another one called Turbo. So I've got a horsefield tortoise and I've got a leopard tortoise as well, which is going to get much bigger. It's only a baby at the minute, so it's only like this big. It's really, really cute. Well, Boba, he's really, really cute. But I'm getting some new pets this week on Thursday. It's a really exciting week actually. R2's gone, the pin's here. Oh, I could hear myself repeating there. And yeah, I'm getting 3 frogs. I'm adopting 3 frogs on Thursday. The white tree frogs. I don't know if anyone's seen them before. What I'll do is when I put this on YouTube, I'll pop a little picture of them. They're really, really cute. But yeah, I love animals. I actually used to work in... Oh, the little frog in the chat. I actually used to work in animal rescue, so I used to take a lot of animals home. Right, let me figure out this collar situation. Yeah, I used to take a lot of animals home because I worked in animal rescue. So I primarily worked with wildlife, so like hedgehogs, birds, occasional foxes, lots of different types of birds, so like seabirds, garden birds, baby birds, pigeons. I love pigeons so much. Love a baby pigeon. And so in the centre that we were in, so we had 2 centres. So one was wildlife / small rodents, mammals, so like rabbits, guinea pigs, rats. I love a rat. Rats over hamsters. I love them so much. And yeah, I had a great time working there. I helped a lot of animals that were obviously quite poorly. So it was really, really rewarding. But one of the cons of working there is you want to take every bloody animal home. And to be fair, I used to take a lot home because I used to hand rear the baby birds. So like the little baby pigeons, baby garden birds. I had a little kingfisher once, which was really, really cool, really memorable. I've had birds of prey in my bedroom. I had a buzzard in my bedroom at one point. Not like free roam in the bedroom, in an incubator because it was really poorly. So I was just able to kind of monitor it overnight. Add some more red there. And I had to feed it like chick guts because it would have, because it was already poorly, it would have wasted too much time trying to digest. Yeah, there's a buzzard in the bedroom. Yeah, so it would have wasted too much energy trying to digest kind of like the feathers and the bones, so I had to kind of like just gut the chicks and feed it. I would do anything for these animals and I do miss it a lot. But rewarding jobs like that are so well sought after that they know they well, like in that industry itself, especially if you're working for a charity, they don't have the money to pay you like a really high wage. So if I had all the money in the world, I'd probably sit at home and I'd paint and I'd probably rehabilitate baby birds. That would probably be my life. That would be my dream, my goal in the future. So shout out to anyone, buy my paintings. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to kind of map out the clothing at the minute. This part here is kind of like leathery. It kind of looks leathery on this cloak. So I'm just adding patches of red. I'm then going to add black shadows in between and then little highlights. I'd love to be Dr. Dolittle. But yeah, like that's what I actually teach at the minute, because a lot of people ask, obviously I communicate that I teach art, that I teach, and a lot of people, sorry, can't get my words out today. I've had 2 sips of Prosecco. So, yeah, what I was saying was, getting back to my point that I was making, I will get there at some point. I obviously am a teacher, so a lot of people assume I teach art, which I did used to teach, and I love teaching. But now I actually teach animal management, and a lot of people are like, "What? Well, what does that consist of?" And essentially, it's kind of teaching animal biology, their behaviour, how to handle different. So sometimes, if you follow my Instagram, you'll see different animals on my story. I work regularly with a farm with some of my groups, so sometimes there's pictures of donkeys and pigs and sheep. That's looking quite cool. But yeah, I think that's kind of like the dream, to have, like, we were talking about our 10-year plan, I think I mentioned this on another stream, our 10-year plan in work, and I was like, I just want a little homestead, to live in the middle of nowhere, to paint. Though I seem very extroverted, I am quite introverted. I like to stay in my home. Thank you guys. I like my little bubble. But I would love like a little homestead with rescue. I just love to rescue a load of animals, sit and paint, look after the animals. That's the vibe I'm going for. Oh, I've got the hiccups. Thank you guys for jumping on. I feel like I'm such a hermit. I like to sit in a dark room for days painting. Could I zoom in here? Whoa. Kind of got the camera on an angle at the minute. I need to get a decent tripod. That's a little bit better, isn't it? Is it even focused now? Here we go. I think I spent like 15 minutes on a stream the other day and it was completely unfocused, because after I clicked focus. But yeah, I have, obviously, yeah, I've just been saying that I'm getting 3 little white tree frogs on Thursday. I'm adopting them. And I need name suggestions. So I was thinking of some today. I kind of like the idea of having some Star Wars themed names. But then I was thinking of like food based names today. And I do like guac. Guac, clementine and fig were kind of up there. But if anyone has any kind of unique Star Wars theme names, I've kind of started with that with Boba the tortoise. And I did have 2 leopard geckos that I rescued, but they were really, they had stick tail, they were so malnourished that they actually passed away, bless them. I was trying to rehabilitate them. So there is downsides of obviously animal rescue. But yeah, I can't wait to get them. I'm so excited. Ooh. I'm gonna colour these all in red, and then there's areas where they're dark, a lot darker. Do you know what would be really, I actually was thinking the other day, it would be really cool when you were saying like, someone commented earlier, I think it was Lone Wolf Doodles. You said, would you ever paint any of the ships in Star Wars? I was actually thinking the other day about painting an AT-AT as well. In terms of like vehicles. Not so much a ship, but... Grogu! Oh. Oh my gosh. How did I not think of that? I feel like if I call one Grogu, I feel like I need to call another one Yoda. That would be really cute. But we have a frog called Yoda in work. And Yati. But yeah, we have a frog called Yoda in work, so I don't know. And he's a what type is he again? I'm trying to think. I would love a selection of different frogs, to be honest. Let me see really quickly. It's going to bother me that I don't know. Oh, that was it. A Pac-Man frog. A Pac-Man frog, aka a horned frog, ornate horned frog. I would love one of them, they're so funny. The one in work, he's called Yoda. And he is consistently biting students' fingers instead of his food. I do like them, they'd be really cute. Let's fill in this section. I do need to add a little bit more of a highlight onto part. I think I'll have to go in with a little bit of a lighter red. This travels all the way down here. Give me a second. There we go. Now, what was that other frog? Give me 2 seconds. Alright. So, I'm trying to remember what the little frogs are called with the little butt cheeks as well. The really tiny ones. I think it was a desert rain frog. I really like those as well. I'd like to keep multiple frogs. There we go. So I did post on my Instagram if anyone had any questions they wanted to ask on the stream as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull those up. Let me just make the screen a little bit smaller. So someone actually, so I'll go through some of these. Whoa, I don't know what happened there. Technical difficulties. So one question someone asked today was, I'm going to do try and do a little questions kind of segment at the end. If anyone's got any questions, obviously who's viewing, you can type them in the chat. That'd be really great. If you've got any questions about my work, about the piece that I'm doing, you could ask general day-to-day questions, or even any questions about my process. I always encourage any questions because it gives me something to yap about. So one of the questions that I got today on Instagram was, so yeah, I'm going to have these little question segments. Someone asked what inspired me to paint Vader in particular, because obviously I posted on I've posted multiple streams, obviously painting Vader and obviously different images on the stories. Vader's been a character I've wanted to paint for a while. I think he's such an interesting character to try and capture, especially this piece that is obviously half Anakin, half Vader. I've been interested in painting him for a while. What was really lucky is I was obviously approached for this piece. So this is obviously a commission piece. Someone on TikTok messaged me saying they wanted this piece, basically. So they want 2 contrasting canvases of Vader and obviously the Emperor. So I've not yet started work on the second canvas yet. So I mean the reason why I was painting him was obviously because someone had asked, but he was a character that was on my list for a while, and I think just because he's such a, I don't know how to describe it. what's the word to describe Vader? He's just such, you know, if you look at an image of Vader or you look at him on screen, he's just such an impactful character visually. His helmet, the coloration, reflections and things like that, that's always been something that's kind of drew me to want to paint him as well. I was just fortunate that someone wanted to pay me to do it, so yeah. Someone also asked, this is another question. Yeah, he's iconic. Like, he is an iconic character, and I feel like any style that you paint Vader in, or any other artist creates him in, he's just noticeable straight away. He's very iconic. Obviously, I love the character beneath the mask, if that makes sense. Sounds a little bit cringy. Yeah. Okay, I'll go to another question. So someone asked, in terms of creating Star Wars art, do I prefer working with traditional or digital mediums? I would say traditional. I feel like lately, the man behind the mask. I feel like lately, this is something that stop saying Beth, it's doing my head in. Something, right, I'm going to try not to say it. So, this is something that me and Alex, my friend Alex, we discussed on a recent stream, which is on my YouTube channel at the minute. Shout out to the YouTube channel. Yes, this is something we talked about. And we were talking about how our styles have basically changed over the past few years. And I recently create a lot I create a lot of paintings, traditional art, and I have a lot of fun with it. I think I used to create a lot of digital art. I used to create a lot of stuff on Procreate, Adobe After Effects, Adobe Illustrator, things like that. I was very much a illustrator / graphic designer up until about 3 years ago, when I bought my first large scale canvas, and I just fell in love with creating an image with paint. So I would say I much prefer working in traditional mediums, and I feel like it adds a lot more of my personal style and my character into the piece, if that makes sense. I feel like it's more personal. Like, I've individually, in person, added each stroke to this piece. And I also feel like when I create digitally, I do a lot of like realism, flat illustrations, things like that, and I don't feel like they have a lot of substance. And that might just be my personal opinion, but I feel like when I create something with paint, it just has a lot more of my character. I don't know how to describe it. I hope I'm making sense. Another question was, so I'll go to the next question. Do you listen to music whilst you're painting? If you do, what genre, what type of music, basically. I do listen to music. I feel like if I don't listen to music, I don't get into... Sometimes when I'm talking about it, I get excited when I'm painting and things like that, and I have some music kind of on in the background of the stream. But normally when I'm in the studio and I'm painting by myself, I do have my earphones in, blasting music, and it does kind of depend on my mood. So if I want to feel relaxed, things like that, obviously I've got different types of playlists. So I have a generic painting playlist, and this has a lot of more relaxed music on. I listen to a lot of the Bridgerton playlist, so Bridgerton playlist, so orchestra style. How do I describe it? So classical versions of modern songs, if that makes sense. So it'll have like Beyonce, different, you know, popular artists, and it's modern classical. That's a good way to describe it. Yeah, it's classical music of modern artists. So sometimes when I'm in that type of mood, I'll listen to that type of music and I'll feel like, oh my gosh, I'm like, you know, an old school artist in, I don't know, like the Renaissance period, like listening to classical music and painting. But other times I'll be listening to like rap, pop, like really intense club music as well sometimes. And sometimes that helps my brain be focused. Like when I'm doing written, so with my ADHD, I get very bored of repetitive tasks. That's probably why I've taken a break from Catwoman, because I've got to do repetitive stitching. I've not worked on that in a while, and it's probably because of that. But like if I'm marking students' work, I'll listen to really intense club music. Like old school, like clubland classics, I love. It needs to be like really intense. I need to be like typing to the beat of the music. I don't know what, I look like I'm having a stroke. Sorry. Yeah. So it does depend on the mood. Depends on the vibe that day. But I do like to get recommendations for playlists as well. Black here. I feel like I'm getting a lot more relaxed with these streams as well at the minute, because I was very stressed when I first started. And I don't know why. I think sometimes if you're just putting yourself out there, if you watch the first stream on my YouTube channel, I actually feel quite uncomfortable watching it. I'm like, I'm just gonna put it out there and get it online. But I can see how scared I am on it. Okay. We've got some red here. Another question I got asked as well was, how do I decide on colour palettes for a piece? Now obviously the last two large scale pieces that I've done, were kind of singular colour pieces, so like C3PO, oh, this way, C3PO, I decided to do all in pink, and I was just feeling like pink girly vibes, and I was kind of inspired by the C3PO Valentine's Funko, and yeah, I just felt like painting it in all pink. I think I'd seen a lot of stuff trending at that point. It was kind of like painting this in all black, painting this in all blue, and I was kind of inspired to try a piece all in pink. And then obviously I got questioned about commissioning R2D2. Make sure that this is still in focus for you guys. Oh, I always do this. It is never a live stream with me without me accidentally either knocking the camera off or taking a picture. Ooh. I hope that's focused enough. Well, that'll do. Yeah, I got approached about R2D2 and I couldn't picture painting him in anything but blue. So there wasn't really that wasn't really a hard decision. And I think with colour palettes, I like to be quite realist with colour palettes of most pieces. This one so what I like to do to get the colour balance kind of right on a lot of pieces is I will bring it into Photoshop. I will swatch the piece. Sorry, I'm always fidgeting with this fringe. It's in my eyelashes at the minute. So I will bring it into Photoshop, I'll swatch it, and I'll create like little colour bubbles, so like swatches. And then basically sit with my palette and try to match, my palette, very messy palette, and I'll try to match those shades as close as I can to those colours, especially if I'm doing kind of portraiture and skin. I think it's important to try and get the tones right. Just get a little bit of linseed oil. And sometimes I'm never ever going to get the colour palette to match exactly what I'm seeing on screen. It's impossible sometimes to get that vibrancy. Unless you buy specific shades. You can get neon shades and things like that, but it's quite hard to find them in oil paints. I find a lot in acrylic. Alright, what I might do, let's take a little bit of this. Just mixing up a little bit of pink here. But yeah, I try and swatch those tones as much as I can before actually going in and painting the piece. So I'm just going to add some pink here. Just going to block this out in pink for now. Yeah, I mentioned earlier that obviously Alex, if anyone watches the streams or watches them back on YouTube, you may have seen the collaborative one I did with Alex, aka Bear Press on Instagram. We're thinking about maybe doing a regular stream together where we talk about a lot of fantasy books that we read, so we're thinking about doing that as like a collaborative thing. But yeah, I'm just realising the time. I'm probably going to wrap up today about past. Add maybe a little bit of white baby pink. Add that in there. Make sure you guys can see it. I might also, whilst I've got this shape kind of mixed, go into this nose area. Now this is quite pink on the reference image. This is one of those things when you think about your colour palette. It's like, oh, I don't expect to see pink on Darth Vader. But when you actually look close up and look at the tones, that's actually what you see. It feels kind of weird, actually. Because this is actually quite light on there. I feel like I need to add some, a little bit darker maybe. Maybe add a little bit of black to that. Could do with a bit more blue, to be fair. Ew. She says that as she pokes it. Add a little bit. There's a little bit of edge in here that's quite purpley pink. I think I'll add that in. Just add a splodge in. And then I'll go back in with that lighter colour. Now, a lot of people, if I ever had a palette cam, people would just be shouting, "What are you doing?" Because it's just chaotic, if I'm honest with you. I just mix what I feel like. But it's just madness. A lot of people have their palettes like quite organised. But you can probably see mine right now, it's just muck everywhere. But if I sat and I was like methodically using the palette probably as I should be, I don't think I'd be as productive. I'd be worrying too much. Okay. No, I don't know why I'm just avoiding doing this mouth area. I think I really need to sit and spend a lot of time on it. Because it is so precise. Let's see. what I'll do is I'll just add some highlights for now. Just a bit late. I'm going to be finishing up soon. At least you caught the end. You were here. I appreciate you coming on. Let's see. Whilst I've got this pink, I'm probably gonna... Well, it's like a lilac-y pink at the minute. Add some highlight, and then probably looks stupid right now, like I'm just blobbing paint down, but there is method to the madness. Is it raining where you are as well? Because it's been raining here. That. Bring that out a little bit. Let me see. That's fully focused for you. It's hard for me to tell what's focused and what's not from this distance. Alright. Might even go in whilst I've got that little light shade. There's a lot of little, try not to lean in it because you know I'm like for leaning in the paint. I might add a few little kind of highlights down here. And this leather, probably quite hard to see. To add a few little highlights here and there. Thank you. You've missed a lot of chat today. I've talked pets, frog. I'm getting some frogs on Thursday. Really excited about it, so I'm just going to repeat it for anyone else who's watching. I'm getting frogs on Thursday. R2's gone. You missed that. I talked about R2 being gone. And the fear of just handing it over to the delivery man. And I also got my pin in the post. But I put this on YouTube so you can catch up on YouTube. Let's add some little highlights here. What I'll do is when I work on this next week with you guys, I'll probably set the camera up a little bit better so you guys can see these details. Thank you. I was so excited when I got the pin in the post. It came so quick. But when you look at it in person, because obviously I've spent a lot of time on the digital illustration for the pin and all the little details and intricacies, and spent a lot of time really making it, what's the word? What is the word? Making references to key points in the series. Not perfect. Making, like, you know, key references to different characters and little, you know, links to the Ahsoka series. Little nuances to their relationship, Ahsoka and Anakin's relationship, and also the series itself. If that makes sense. Like the little pegals and the loft walls on the outside, and the little star maps and things like that. I spent a lot of time getting those little details in. And yeah, so when I got obviously seeing it on pictures from the pin creator, wasn't as good as obviously seeing it in person because there's so many little details. I even like the glitter on the background. It's just so cool. It's cool to see something I've created come to life. It was really exciting. Right, let's add a little bit of black here actually. So I've brightened it up quite a bit. Yeah, I feel like if anyone watched Ahsoka and they've not obviously watched the Clone Wars and seen their relationships, then like I was sat like nearly crying watching it because obviously I know their characters' relationship. So obviously if you sit and watch it and you're not, obviously it's a great TV show on a standalone anyway. But if you sit and watch it when you're already a fan of those characters, it does mean something else, doesn't it? Just trying to add a little bit of texture. But yeah, I am really, really sad because I'm back at work tomorrow. Just breaks down and cries. I'm back at work tomorrow and it's probably going to be the most stressful term at work because all of the students have their final exams. So I'm going to be a stressy Betty. So this is normally when you'll see me slacking creating artwork. Alright, so let's maybe add a... I think what I'm going to start doing with the dragon piece is, I mentioned a little bit earlier that I don't know if you got to see me and Alex on stream together, but I think we're going to try and do a regular stream together midweek, and I'm going to focus on the dragon piece then. So we're going to talk about fantasy and different books that we both love. But I'm probably going to try and do that midweek and bounce between projects. I want to prioritise this one at the minute because this is obviously a commission. So I'm trying to stay motivated to get this finished. See, I need to do a vote actually because whether to do Maul or Grievous as the next piece. I kind of want to do, I mentioned earlier that I want to do something for the 25th anniversary. He's looking good so far. Let's zoom out a little bit. Starting to come together. I need to fix the helmet. It's looking cool. If I do say so myself. Obviously there's a lot of detail to go, but I'm kind of just going to try and block as much as I can out this side today. And then I think I am going to try and do a little bit on Anakin next week. So, I'm scared. I'm actually quite scared to paint that because I think it'll be a nice switch for the stream if we go from Vader to Anakin next week. But I am scared because obviously it takes a lot of attention to detail when doing the human side. And obviously doing it live, there's added pressure. So I'm thinking I'm going to do that next week. Scary. Yeah, I think it is a big switch because you've got to go from... I mean, there's not much of his face, to be honest, on show. It's literally just his eyeball. But it's eyeball and hair. So, I look forward to it though. I am excited. I think it'll really bring the piece together when I get him in. If that makes sense. But I am scared. Of just completely ruining the piece. I think that's one thing as well, because I was talking before, like one of the questions someone asked me on Instagram was, like, do I prefer creating the characters in traditional or digital medium? With traditional, I feel like obviously there's no undo button. So that's kind of a setback. But yeah, I've been trying to practice portraiture. This is something I've talked about with Alex as well. So it is a nice challenge for me, and obviously it's just kind of dipping. I do a lot of portraiture digitally, but obviously I've got an undo button. Oh, I think I've frozen. I've got an undo button and I've got an eraser. And obviously with oil paints I can wipe away areas. It's just a lot more frustrating, I think. Because it's a lot more time consuming to remove any errors. Put some red in there. Yeah, and I feel like when you're painting a face, one little mistone of the skin, or you know, anatomically, if you make a mistake, it's just very frustrating. Right, so I need to get a lot of red in here. I think what I'll do is I'll block in this last part. There's some red that goes up there. I mean, this part stays quite light, which is a weird one. There's my white. I think I'm just going to dull it down a little bit. Yeah, I've just realised the time. Oh my gosh. I haven't had any tea yet. So the soundtrack that I'm using at the minute, it's nothing I personally listen to. Though it is really relaxing. It's like lo-fi stuff, isn't it? It's just copyright free music, so obviously this doesn't get flagged with Twitch or obviously on YouTube. But it's just on Spotify. I always worry it's a bit too moody, but it's kind of relaxing to me. I will do. What I'll do is I'll pop it on Instagram. But it is, I just searched, so it's a, oh, sorry. It's a pre-made playlist. So it's just copyright free Twitch streaming gaming music on Spotify. But it's basically a lot of like lo-fi stuff. We were talking about like soundtracks to painting earlier as well, and how kind of the mood depends on what I listen to. A little bit more linseed oil. And then this pot just has a lot of red and black. I'm just going to try and block that out really quick. So we've got some red here. A lot of black. I'd say my music taste varies a lot with my mood. Like I said earlier, I'll listen to like modern classical remakes, like the Bridgerton soundtrack with like Beyonce songs that are classically remade and think I'm back in the olden days. And then other times I'll be listening to like clubland classics or just regular pop songs or rap. It just depends on the mood, really. I think I'll probably spend a lot of time detailing this fabric at some point. I don't think it's going to be today. I just kind of wanted to block it out. But yeah, it's like sometimes I'll be listening to like, I should have a look at my playlist, like my recent, but I have like different playlists for different moods. So I've got like a book playlist, I've got a painting playlist. Like on my painting playlist, for example, it goes from, again, like string quartets, Bridgerton soundtrack remakes of like Ariana Grande or like Material Girl, and then so it goes from that to kind of like Tyler the Creator, ABBA, some country. There's a bit of country in there, a bit of Peggy Lee as well. A lot. I like The Weeknd. I listen to The Weeknd a lot, and to be honest, The Weeknd and Ariana Grande are kind of good background artists for me, because I've listened to their albums so many times that it kind of switches my brain off when I'm listening to them. But yeah, so I'll have those on, and then it's got like George Michael, some embarrassing songs that I'm not gonna say. But yeah, it's a bit of I've got some Nirvana on there. I think it does just depend. It depends on the mood. I do listen to some Metallica, again, it depends. Yeah, I love listening to like classical. I'm just gonna overdrew that a little bit, but I can get rid of that when I add in the background. Okay, so Metallica when you're getting angry at other drivers on the road. I don't drive. People would be very angry at me if I drove, and I'd just be scared. I think classical music, you're kind of in a vibe, you feel like, oh. And it kind of relaxes me a little bit. But if you listen to the Bridgerton soundtrack, there's a lot of classical, like modern remakes of classical. Not modern remakes, classical remakes of modern songs. And I know it's Bridgerton, like it's, you know, but I do like the playlist. Alrighty, I think I'm gonna call it a day. I've kind of got it blocked in. Obviously I know I need to add more to the mask, but I feel like I need to spend some time really detailing that. So this is how it's looking. Oh, well, I feel like I've made some progress at the bottom. It's not blank canvas anymore, yay! And obviously the helmet situation needs sorting. But I was so pleased when I was on stream the other day and we did the eye section. I think that's looking beautiful. And the detailing will come into this later on. I just think I need to block out as much as I possibly can, because I start to get triggered when I can visibly see the canvas after a certain point with this really light colour. I feel like I need to get it covered, and I need to do it now. Well, not right now, but hopefully make a start on it next week. So, okay, I'm going to put the paintbrush down, Beth. So what I'll do is I'm putting the palette down. I'm not going to fiddle anymore. I've got paint all over me. The thing is, I'll do this and then I'll walk around the house and I'll put my hands everywhere. Poor Olive had red, well, she had red on, I think it was on one of the streams, I actually dropped the palette and I splattered red paint, but I was just like, woo. So no one could tell. And Olive walked into the red paint and then she spread it around the house. It's still on her tummy, actually. You can see it on her tummy. I might bring her in. Shall I bring her in to say goodbye to everyone? Give me a second. Olive? Olive? Hello? Come here. Hi. Hello. Come here. You got a wiggly bum. A wiggly bum bum. Come here. Hold on. Jump. Come on up. Oh, come and say hello. Hi, kissy wissies. You'll lick my lips. Oh. Oh, you burped. Oh my gosh, I've got cramp in my foot. Say hello. Oh no. Who's this? Hi. Well, you can say bye to everyone, yeah? Say bye. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'll be back on again Sunday at the same time next week. Don't lick the paint. I'll be back on again next Sunday at 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.